how can you beat the bloat with elimination diet? So there is a Monash University in Australia that did 30 years of research helping people with the irritable bowel syndrome. It is non-inflammatory bowel disease, and therefore gastroenterologists cannot give the people any medication. But these people were suffering every single day with bloating, farting, diarrhea, and constipation. So they created an app that you can download. I think I paid €3 for it, with a low FODMAP diet. What does it stand for? So it's fermentable, fructo, oligo, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols. And all these are sugars that we cannot digest, but bacteria love them and they produce gas. So it is, for example, fruit that is very healthy. 1 apple a day will keep a doctor away. But for people who suffer with irritable bowel disease, apple is not the best choice because apple is high in FODMAP. Pear, mango, prunes, figs, sport drinks, all these have high amount of fructose. And fructose, as we were talking, is very difficult to digest, especially if we don't have the transporters and digestive enzymes to break it down. Also, vegetable that is extremely high because it serves as a prebiotic, therefore the food for bacteria. This one, be careful, is very often added to many food and even probiotic pills. This is artichoke, asparagus, beetroot, and raw beetroot is actually the worst, right? Broccoli, cabbage, endives, garlic, onion, leek, celery, kale. Of course, we don't have time to put everything and cover every single food item in this video, but there are many apps and many books that specialize on the FODMAP, and they have many menus and recipes as well. Grains. So very often people avoid gluten and they start eating gluten-free products, which sometimes also might be high in FODMAP. And for example, rye, which is this like Scandinavian type of bread, vasa bread, pumpernickel bread, all of this is also very high FODMAP, causing bloating. Bulgur and couscous is basically a wheat as well. So people sometimes think, but I don't eat pasta, I eat only couscous. It's exactly the same thing. Legumes, so beans, lentils, chickpeas, hummus, all the soy products. So for example, vegans that are using vegan sausages, vegan cheese, vegan protein, which is either pea protein, so concentrated protein, or it is from soy products, they might be bloated every single day, not knowing that this super healthy food is just not helping them at all. And then of course, dairy products. So, you know, like with lactose, so milk, ice cream, ricotta, paneer, which is the Indian cheese, and vegans and vegetarians often indulge in paneer and whey protein. So maybe even when you go to the gym and then you want to have a whey protein shake, this is high in not only concentrated whey, but also, for example, inulin, which is a prebiotic. So you have to be very careful and avoid such products. Sweeteners, so fructose, which is in honey, agave. So all these alternative sugars are actually not serving the purpose. And sorbitol and xylitol are, for example, even in chewing gums. So all the sugar-free products, so chewing gums, Coke Zero, any low-fat products, low sugar, low fat, all these products have some of the artificial sweeteners as a replacement. And nuts, for example, pistachio and cashews. So you know from my previous videos that I never buy cashews. I don't even recommend them, not only because they are high in FODMAP and therefore causing bloating and farting, and even diarrhea, but also because of the sustainability and procedure that those ones that work with the cashews have to go through. So be careful with the vegan products, substitute sugar and avoid dry fruit if you are suffering with bloating. And maybe you can download this app from the Monash University, which tells you which food is actually high in FODMAP, and then you need to keep the journal, because only like this you will find out which food is not suiting you. Or, as I mentioned, hydrogen breath test is also very good tool to use to discover which food is having impact on it. So just for an example, we are now going to look at the low FODMAP meal. And also, please know that low FODMAP diet or any cookbook that you can buy, it even mentions it is not temporary, and it is only temporary. It is not sustainable approach, because it is not healthy to eliminate all these foods. The aim of this elimination diet is to discover maybe 2 or 3 culprits that are causing your bloating. So maybe you will discover that for you it's beans with a high amount of lectins and that you are overreacting on it. So you will avoid chickpeas and hummus, and then your digestion might be fine. Or you might discover that it's actually avocado that is high in sorbitol, because you just don't have digestive enzymes to process it. Or maybe that it's apple because it's high in inulin, or maybe it's garlic, or maybe it's beetroot, and then you will avoid only this food. So what could the meal plan look like? And I did not separate it into breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because I don't actually even believe that we should stick to yogurt for breakfast, and then for dinner we should have beans, for example. No, if you feel like to have I don't know, millet or quinoa for breakfast, why not? And if you feel like to have chia seeds pudding in the afternoon, again, why not? So chia seeds pudding is actually very good, because chia is a soluble and insoluble fiber but doesn't ferment, and it creates this nice gel that is even helping against the constipation. Kiwi, papaya is naturally high in digestive enzymes, so it helps you to break down the food. Oatmeal with kefir, pancakes, and almond butter. That's what I had this morning. So oatmeal is actually high in beta glucans that also help to moisturize and heal the intestine. And kefir, in case you don't have lactose intolerance or intolerance on the protein actually in the milk, then you can use kefir. And almond butter is usually very neutral as well. Almonds are not high FODMAP. And you can put berries on the top of it as well. Or quinoa or millet porridge is fantastic. It has no gluten, and you can boil it in either in a water or maybe in hemp milk, almond milk, to really keep it away from problematic food. Omelette with spinach or carrots or any type of frittata. It can be Greek frittata. Polenta with ratatouille. It's again like it's zucchini that is very neutral, tomato sauce. Shrimps are usually fine in case you don't suffer with the seafood intolerance. Moroccan tofu stew with quinoa, you can try that. So this is just like ideas what the menu could look like. Now we move to the most important. Many of my clients actually suffer with constipation. And as I mentioned, constipation can be even if you go to the toilet every single day, because gastroenterologists, they call this full of stool. Because if your stool is hard, if it's difficult to pass it, or if you alternate in between constipation and diarrhea, that one day you will go 5 times to the toilet and the next day you will not go at all, this is not balanced. You should go every single day, minimum once a day. So how can you kickstart this digestion? First of all, you want to avoid gluten, because gluten is like a glue and basically sticks into the intestine and makes it more difficult to slide the stool away. Inflammatory food, yes, because that is actually irritating the enterocytes, the cells, and they might be actually opening the gates and causing the irritation and stress. Because remember, when we are under stress, we cannot digest and we cannot eliminate the stool, and maybe even the sphincters in our anal sphincter and even the pelvic floor muscles are under the stress, and then it's causing basically the constipation in different parts of the body, usually the lower parts, so on the left side of your lower belly. So what is the protocol? And here I put the disclaimer. So every time when you suffer with constipation, diarrhea, or any irritation in your intestine, you should talk to the professional. So you should go to your GP, you should go to the gastroenterologist, or you should visit dietitian or nutritionist, because only they, after reading the 18-page questionnaire, can help you to navigate through which type of constipation you have, what are the other medical problems, hormonal imbalances, medication that you are taking, and they can prepare a protocol for you. So this protocol that I'm going to share here with you is only a suggestion of what I do with my clients, but under no circumstances I'm saying that this should work for you. And if you try any of that, and for example, you will have allergic reaction to kiwi, you have to stop immediately. So what usually helps, and the research showed, is that if you take 2 spoons of the crushed linseeds, and you need to crush it yourself, you never buy it crushed, because that can be potentially rancid and carcinogenic. So you crush it yourself, you mix it with water, and you leave it overnight. This is going to create the gel. So then in the morning, you drink this liquid, and then you can eat 2 green kiwi fruits. So it's not the yellow one, but it's green, the one that is fluffy, and it needs to be really ripe. And you can eat it either with the skin, or you can peel the skin if it's organic. It's fine even with the skin. Then you will drink half a liter of lukewarm water, and you can squeeze there even lemon juice, or you can put there unpasteurized, unfiltered apple cider vinegar, because this one helps to boost the digestion, increase the hydrochloric acid, increase the insulin sensitivity. So you drink the half a liter, and then you wait for 20 minutes, and then you have your breakfast. What you can do, and what the research showed, that 300 milligrams of magnesium hydroxide actually helps to make the stool softer. So if you take this 1 to 2 hours before you go to sleep, not during the day, not on an empty stomach, it might help you to relieve the constipation. But again, before you take any supplements, talk to your doctor, talk to the pharmacist or any professional. You can also implement the low FODMAP diet. So either download the app so that you know which food to avoid, or you can buy a book, or you can consult it with the nutritionist that will specify which food you should and shouldn't avoid. And you can increase even soluble fiber. So it's a psyllium husk. You can buy it in any healthy food store. And I have videos on YouTube how to exactly prepare it, but it's very easy. So you take 1 spoon of a psyllium husk, and you mix it into a glass of water, and you can drink it either immediately, or you can wait, and it's going to create a gel, and then you can eat it with the spoon. You can, for example, even mix it with the brain boost or with the health boost that I'm promoting. There is a discount code Blanca 10%. If you want to buy it, it's a really high antioxidant, and I like mixing it into it, and maybe sometimes even a little bit of yogurt if you don't suffer with the lactose intolerance. And the research also showed that biofeedback or yoga, the diaphragm breathing or alternative nostril breathing help to relax the muscles and then helps with the elimination of the stool. And what's important is sleep. Minimum 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And if you have a problem with sleep, I have on my website a 1-hour workshop recording where I tell you step by step how you can improve the sleep, what is the protocol. And then probiotics. So be careful. If you suffer with SIBO, the small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and you get bloated anytime from any food, that is not the best time to implement probiotics. Probiotics you use only when you suffer with constipation, but without bloating and without farting. So we covered everything around the constipation and the bloating. But sometimes people have problem in the upper part of the tract. So it can be in the stomach. And this is when you, for example, eat small amount of food, but you feel like nausea, you have pain in the stomach, you have cramps in the stomach. And you are the person that needs to eat 5 to 6 portions of food, but very, very small portions. So if you don't suffer with bloating and you don't suffer with farting, you can include in your meals even high FODMAP. So that would be, for example, avocado, and you can even have sourdough toast. So you can still use the wheat because this is not your problem. And you have small portions, so you have only 1 piece of toast with half of the avocado and maybe 1 or 2 eggs, depending how much your stomach can take. Maybe you want to have as a snack coconut milk with a collagen protein powder, because this collagen protein powder has quite a lot of L-glutamine and vitamin A, and it has other amino acids that help you to build a protective layer in your intestine that might have been damaged by medication or by bacteria and H. pylori, and your intestine is also damaged by the stress or the food that you were eating. So this collagen protein powder, which is a bovine powder, or it can be even from fish, so the marine collagen can help you to restore and repair the lining. Maybe you want to have a green smoothie. Since you are not suffering with bloating, you can put there kale, you can put there celery sticks, cucumber, and just mix it in the smoothie maker and slowly sip it. You can eat asparagus without problem, which is a prebiotic. You can have a white bean soup. So you want to actually make it into the soup because you want to break it down, not to put any pressure on your stomach. Yeah. Sweet potatoes, you can mash them. So everything is kind of like mashed and broken down into small pieces. Kale frittata, roasted butternut squash, couscous, maybe even mushrooms are fine for you. Maybe you don't even suffer with the weight issue, so you can have chocolate and banana mousse, just a small amount of it, or fruit sorbet, to keep always something in the stomach and not to make large breaks in between meals, because that makes them the stomach to cramp and causing problems. So now you know what to eat. And to summarize, what did you learn? You learned that every belly is unhappy in its own way, and it's 8 different kind of bloating, and you need to go deep into details to find out which case is your case and what steps you need to take. So this is really personalized approach with a professional. You also know the importance of the stress management. You don't want to eat when you are under stress. And I know it's easier said than done, but for example, just sitting down and taking a long inhale and exhale through the mouth. You can do it 5 times, or the alternative nostril breathing, or tapping. So the emotional freedom technique, when you are tapping into the meridians and you are basically sending the signals to your cells that all is fine and you eliminate the stress, then is the best time to eat. You can use the hydrogen breath test. So you can either contact me and borrow the machine from me and download the app. The app is for free, and find out what is causing you the problem. Or you can go to the gastroenterologist if bloating and farting is your issue. How you can support the pancreatic enzymes, the digestive enzymes that we need. It can be either by eating the food like kiwi and papaya that help you naturally to break down the food. And remember, you always need to read the labels because that sugar is hidden everywhere. And you might not even know, but if you take the chewing gums and all this xylitol is causing you the bloating, just by stopping using these products can already be beneficial. So before you take any supplements, even though I mentioned the magnesium and others, consult your doctor, because the medication that you are using might be actually interfering with these supplements that otherwise would be very beneficial. So what can you do today? You can increase the soluble and insoluble fiber. So try to check, do you really eat 25 grams of fiber every single day? What about crushed linseeds? Can you try to make this liquid and drink it every day? And remember, the change doesn't happen after one day. It needs consistency. Minimum 7 days, but to see the benefits, it takes 21 days. Hydrate, 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 especially when it's warm, when you exercise, when you go to sauna. Hydrate in the morning, hydrate until afternoon, but then in the evening, slow down a little bit. And avoid pro-inflammatory food. And this can be different for everybody. For people that suffer with arthritis, that can be the nightshade vegetables. So potatoes, aubergine, peppers, tomatoes. For somebody who, for example, suffers with lactose intolerance, it can be any like piece of cheese, little bit of pizza. It can immediately make the inflammation. And of course, for example, even lectins that are in beans. But you listen to your body, you write what you eat and how you feel after that. And when you will check it, you will see the repetitive pattern of the digestive issues that you had. And remember, it's all about progress, taking small changes rather than seeking the perfection, because perfection does not exist.